It's always a pleasure to come your way on the Ghanaian Farmer channel. My name is Enyona, but when you see me in town, call me Ghana's finest farmer. Wherever it is you're watching us from across the globe, you're most welcome. Feel at home, subscribe to this channel, take your time, have a drink aside, and be sipping whilst you're going through our videos one after the other. I am sure by the end of the day, you'll find something that suits your time, that fits into your financial plan, and that would help you know where to start from. Anything about agriculture in Africa, in West Africa, precisely in Ghana, this is the best channel for you to subscribe to. So there is these tips I want to share with you today. It's about 6 mistakes that new farmers, at times even existing farmers, do make. And if care is not taken, it frustrates you and it gets you feeling so terrible to venturing into farming. What are these 6 mistakes? In Ghana, I always tell you that before we used to have 10 regions from the eastern, the western, the northern, the Brong-Ahafo, the central, the Volta, the Greater Accra, and many other things. We had about 10. And then we added 6 more. So we have 16 regions. And I also told you some time ago that in these 16 regions, there are some common vegetables that can be grown everywhere. Like vegetables, for instance, if you have water and a fertile land, you can do it anywhere. If you want to do livestock, so long as you have feed for them, it's likely you can do it anywhere. If it's about cereal, some of them, cereal is largely done in the northern and the central region, and of course, somewhere in the Volta region. And then when it comes to cocoa and cashew, avocado, and passion fruit, I've seen some passion fruit on my way here. So there are some things that run through the entire region, but there are some things that has to be done in a particular place. So you need to know which of the regions you want to own a land and start a farm. So my point number one is wrong location. For instance, we find ourselves in the Volta region. We are here at Floor Cell Farms to do an interview with some of the interns who have traveled from other African countries to do a training program here. Now, over here, when you talk about the fish hub in Ghana, Greater Accra, the Western region, all right, Volta region, when it's about fish farming or fish hubs, it can be done here because they are surrounded by the Volta Lake, they are surrounded by the stream, all right. But nowadays you can do fish farm kind get to see the pond you see right behind. Also, Greater Accra, Western Volta region, they are the fish hubs because you are surrounded by the lake or the sea. But thanks to ponds behind us, fish farms can be done everywhere. But when it comes to, let's say, millet, sorghum, cowpea, a lot more of livestock like guinea fowl and all that, you have to go to the north. All right. And then when it comes to stuff like maize and other things, you have to go to the other region. So choice of location matters. At times, there are other people surrounding you who are doing the same thing. And so marketing becomes a bit of a challenge. And so it means that you have to travel a distance to go and sell your produce. At times, closer to other people who are doing the same thing too, when there is outbreak of disease, it will be a disaster for you because they are a colleague farmer. They might walk in to your farm trying to share their problems or other things with you, and unknowingly they introduce that disease outbreak. So you need to be very careful. Choice of location or wrong location is one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of new farmers or even existing farmers make at times. So be very careful you don't get frustrated when you get to people like Agogo. We know that place. There are a lot of cow herdsmen. All right, there are a lot of herdsmen who are mostly drive their cows into people's farm to go and destroy things. So you need to be very careful of where you're going to invest your money into. So wrong location can be one of the biggest mistakes you make. Number two, not hiring an expert or not hiring a consultant. So a lot of the times in my videos, you keep hearing me say that if you're going to start a farm, you cannot go into the farm without an expert who will guide you from A to Z. For instance, I have done documentaries for the past 3 years. Now, when I finally decided to go into farming, what did I do? I had to run after Mafle's Trust to help me even identify the land, to confirm that this land is good for sweet potato production after the soil analysis, even how to plow the land and make the beds. They had to come in with their machines to help me. The planting materials. It will interest you to know that in Ghana, we have two types or different types of sweet potato. We have the local one and then the foreign one. When I decided I was going to trade or plant the foreign one, he was the only go-to person to go and ask for a vine or buy a vine from. So a lot of the times you watch my videos and you call me, hey, Enyo, I watch this farmer. I want to start the same kind of farm. Can you give me his number for me to ask him for help or supply me some things or give me some advice? Listen, yes, the farmer might be doing this over and over again, but you know the mistakes he has been adjusting just to survive. Farming is not about surviving. It's about having a sustainable plan that can keep the farm running. So it is very important that you look for an expert who would help you in the choice of location, who help you identify your market targets. Because we have the open market, we have the domestic and the foreign market. Which one are you looking for? Now with budgeting, it is very important that you get an expert to help you plan your budget well and have a miscellaneous. Without an expert, when you contact just an ordinary or a normal farmer who has been doing this for a long time, yes, he might tell you, but there are things he might forget. The risks that are going to hit you along the way. He might not be able to tell you the hard truth in the face. So you make a decision if you want to go with it or not. So number two mistake that a lot of farmers who are in there or who are about to start make is not hiring expert or professional to help you go through the process. It is very key. It's very important that you get an expert who would help you. Point number three, mistakes that a lot of farmers make, being it new farmers or old farmers, they make. Now, take a look around me. This is a big commercial farm, and poor farm management can cause disaster. Okay, it will cause a lot of mortalities, it will cost you a lot of money. Farm management is one key element that a lot of farmers do not take into consideration, especially those of you living abroad who want to go into farming. Because you are not around and your farm manager is the one in charge of everything, the question is how he or how serious is he taking farm management? Now, when we came here, the CEO of Flow Cell is not around. He has not arrived yet. But you can see they have swept the whole farm. You can see that some of the aerators in the pond, I'll let you see them. The aerators are working. Electricity is on, the aerators are working. When I went to where they actually do keeping of the eggs, everything is already working. Now, that is a good farm management practice. But in times where you have a farm manager, when the farm is bushy, he doesn't care to either weed or control the weed. When it's time for fertilizer application, he forgets about it and then, oh, we were supposed to do fertilizer yesterday, so let's do it today. When he's supposed to go and buy certain kind of inputs, he forgets about them. These petty things would cost you a lot of money. Poor farm management is one practice that if you don't take seriously, no matter how much you are investing, at the end of the day, you will not get a kobo. What you get will be disappointment, heartbreak, and frustration. So farm management is very key. If you do not take it seriously, then trust me, don't expect anything in return. Farming is about give and take. So you need to treat it like the way you treat your baby, your wife, or your husband. is very key, that you take your farm management very seriously. And that is one thing that a lot of farmers, being it new or even old, who usually leave the farm in the hands of farm managers, you know, it happens that it's not done well. But here, you can see things are working. The aerators are on. When you go to the other side of the pond, water is being changed. It means that the practice is being adhered to. Now, point number 4, lack of financial planning or poor financial planning can be another mistake that a would-be farmer or an existing farmer is likely to make. Let me use myself as an example. When we were in Sege to lease the land and then to start plowing and then prepare for the bed, bringing in the materials, the only thing that saved us was in time of preparing our budget, which was done by Marvelous. He managed to put in some miscellaneous somewhere. So the point where I brought you that we had to buy food unexpectedly for the workers for the number of days they stayed on the farm, we bought food twice. That cost us some money. All right. We had to go and buy sleeping nets, mosquito nets. We had to buy them bed, bucket for bathing. We had to buy a lot of things. And recently, I showed you the structure we were making for people to sleep in. The workers to sleep in. Of course, for myself, when I go to Seguin, I don't want to go back to Accra. I have somewhere to lay my head. So, poor financial management, when you do not make room for miscellaneous, or when it skips you, or when you think that I have saved enough, so this is okay to help me go through my farm journey, and along the way, you are spending more than you had planned for, that is when frustration sets in. That is when you start asking yourself, why did I even go into this? This is not what I was told. This is not what I planned for. This is not what I was looking for. But the problem is that it's because you did not sought for expert advice that would help you to have enough miscellaneous to put certain things in place. So it's very important that as a new farmer, you make sure that you have proper financial plan, proper financial management, so that you will not get stuck along the way and getting frustrated and being jittery and everything. Is very important. It's one common mistake that a farmer is likely to make. Poor financial planning. It's likely that you're going to make it. So I'm drawing your attention as you are whetting your appetites and getting ready, marking time to become a farmer. Make sure that you don't make or repeat this mistake I had made, but it was easy on me because I had miscellaneous to adjust along the way. Now, the next point, or point number 5, which is part of the mistakes that a lot of farmers end up making or are likely to make, has to do with poor monitoring. All right. So let me use those of you living abroad and you have a farm here in Ghana, especially those who are living abroad and you come to Ghana once or twice in a year and then you are investing into cabbage. Cabbage or any other, vegetable, likely to take 8 or 12 weeks. They are ready to be harvested and sold. So imagine you are far away. Which ways are you going to employ to monitor what is done on the farm? And that is where the problem is. If you leave everything in the hands of a manager, some of the managers, they consider your investment as theirs. So they take a very good care of the farm. They are very, very transparent and very accountable. But some of them are very gullible. So he will not either give the right nutrient to the plant, he will not know, he will not do weed control, he will not apply fertilizer on time. Even when he harvests, he will sell and give you a certain amount that this is what I got, which is not true. So what do? What you have to do is that you look for somebody else whom you can trust. Occasionally, the person can visit the farm as a tourist or something, to go and be asking questions. How do you go about this? How do you do this? How long is it going to mature? When are you selling? Who are you selling to? What is the price? Ask, random questions and get back to you. so you can, compare the two information and know whether this is right or not. Poor monitoring can cost you your investment. It is very important that as an investor into a farm business, you keep an eye and invest into monitoring. It can be technology, it can be a human factor, it can be another way, or look at your schedule and invest into a particular type of farm that will best suit you. That every time it's time for harvesting, you are right there to actually monitor the harvest, sale, take your profit, reinvest, and then go back. Now, the last point, this is one of the likelihood mistakes that farmers make or new farmers make, which is overlooking security. So I remember a few days ago, somebody came and commented on my YouTube. And how are you investing into security so that we see a lot of cows around that will not come and destroy what you're doing? And that is why you need to have a good relationship with your farm manager. So our farm manager there, he also has a pineapple farm at the same location where we have our sweet potato. So I have always worked on his mind that listen, this is people's investment. All right. And as a farmer yourself, I entrust that every day you won't be able to go to the farm. It's just a walk away, few walks away, to go and see what is happening. And one of the key things is that the cow herdsmen over there have been warned. So there's a clear boundary where they can actually take the cows, not getting to where the farm is. But the manager himself also have a good relationship with the chief of the community, who knows that his community is full of farms. So there is a warning, or there is a clear conversation or understanding between the cow people and the crop farmers. But also, if you do not follow up, so every day I am on the phone with either my financial guy or the farm manager. Have you heard from them? Have you asked if they've gone to check the farm? So we are in the Volta region. Sege is just on the road. Right from here, I'm going there to go and see how the plants are faring. Overlooking security can equally cost you a lot. You heard the man I interviewed recently, the fish farm man who was a taxi driver and then became, he says, listen, we have two security. One come in the morning, one come in the evening. They are always watching everything that is going on. And my farm manager, I am always on call with him, finding out whether things are being done properly or not. So you need to have a good plan on having security in check so that at the end of the day, you will not make such mistakes. Do not make the mistakes that others have made already. Then it means you have not learned anything. It means all the videos you're watching, you are not putting anything down. I want to believe that you have taken pen and paper and jot down all this point. At least there is one of these mistakes you are making or you are about to make. So this video should be a reminder so you will not fall as a victim to all that I have mentioned. Farming is very good. It is fun, it is stressful, it is profitable, it is a lot of things you can think about. We are not only feeding Africa, but we are feeding the globe. We actually export a lot of things from Ghana to the European countries. We are creating jobs, we are creating wealth for ourselves, and will soon become self-dependent and self-reliant. And so I'll use my platform, Ghanaian Farmer, to say if you're watching me, you know what I want you to do? Subscribe. Yes, use your time to subscribe. Share the link. If you're a Ghanaian living abroad, call me for consultancy. It's just a small fee, and I'll help you connect it to the right people, start your farm on a smooth journey without any challenge. Now, you know what? All those have been calling, I want number, I want number. We are working on a data system where we can upload all the names, the location, the contact, and type of farm onto that platform. So when you call, I'll just give you a link. You go there, do what you have to do, the needful, and then you can actually be able to have access to all the database of all the farmers you need. And hey, Ghanaian Farmer is 3 years. We are 3 years. We want to do a donation to orphanage homes. And so please, if you're watching me, you love what I do, you know how you're going to appreciate me? Call me and send me something. $100, a $50, a $200, £50, £100. Send me something. Let's buy enough commodities and go and donate to the orphans. That's my way of touching lives. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you on the flip side. Bye bye.